everybody. Today I'm going to be dealing with the OpenWeatherMap. It's an API that you can sign up for, and if it's for your business, you can pay a service fee. If you're just learning it, they'll let you have that to learn on as well. So I'm just using a current free version. As you can see here is where you can acquire it, and here's all the options. It's got anything from solar issues to road risks, the 5-day forecast to alerts. A lot of things here that might be helpful for you or your business. Air pollution, so on and so forth. Anyway, let's get to it. What you're going to need to do basically is find out the link for the service you're going to be getting, and you want to give it a little bit of information as to what units, and since I'm in the States, I'm using Imperial. You will have to sign up for an API key, which I just put it right here. And as you notice, I'm just going through some kind of an object and saving whatever it is based on that day. And it's pretty simple. And the results, not too surprising, they're not so helpful. Look how everything's kind of close together. What this tells me is that I'm only picking up one of the sampling times of the day. For instance, let's talk about how this works. Here's my day, the 25th of April. I'll do Control F of that, and it says here there are 2 matches. But let's go to the 26th. Now there's 8. You see how it has, the first one is at 0, 0, 0. Then we got a min and a max. Coincidentally. Let me see here, right there. And so we go to the next one. Min and max at 3 o'clock is at 72, 72. And Minimax at 6 a.m. is here at 71, 89. They're not really moving around a lot because there are 8 different samples of this day. And to get an accurate min and max, you need to get the highest and the lowest of all 8 representations of this day, not just one of them. See how close they are? So what you need to do is iterate through all of them and find out which is the max and which is the min for all 8 samples. We aren't doing that initially. We're just grabbing one of the samples. That's why we don't see it varying too much from what we need to see it from. So let's go see what our code looks like. As you can see, I'm looping through it one time. Not so helpful, okay? And we do know that when we sample through the temp data, we can basically single out what the min and the max are, and we can make it pretty easy. So let's just kind of see what we're dealing with here. For instance, I'm going to see here, console log, yeah. And let's just do IMIN. All right, so now we're going to kind of see what exactly are we getting. Yeah, I know. temp data. Oh, nice. I spelled it wrong. That's even better. So all of these, they need to basically say this. Nice. Okay. You see here how we're getting all of our samples, and it's telling us, hey, these are all your temperatures, and we're going through the min and the max of all of them 8 times over per every day. So let's utilize this so we don't get these ridiculous samples that are so close. Okay, so how did we change this up? And I'm going to leave this comment here to kind of give you a little bit of where we were. And now I'm going to let you know where we're going. So basically, we're going to be setting the weather here. And instead of just doing one loop, I'm going to set everything here to a default. And I'm going to go through the data. And I'm going to find out by this right here saying, do we have this data already? Is which day, if it doesn't equal this, then we're going ahead and push it into here. And then we start basically giving it an assignment of the highest and the lowest based on what we've pushed. And so if we already had the thing in our list, then we start to just basically add it along here. And we've been building up our lowest and highest in a max and min temp. And what happens is once we've pushed them all into it, we find out which is the lowest and the highest in each of the arrays. And then we submit that into our new object so that ultimately we're building out something that has gauged itself on whether it's the highest or the lowest based on the math min or math dot max. And so we go through, we save them all into an array, then we find out which one's the highest, which one's the lowest, and then we assign that to our latest temperature. So it gets updated to match the highest and the lowest. And so we say, okay, I'm going to save the date one time and save it in an array, and we'll have a placeholder of 0 for the min and max. Then we're going to go through all the matching dates and then update the min and max accordingly to see who has the highest and the lowest, if that makes any sense. And then when we're done, we're going to save all these updated temperatures and dates into one. And as you can see, that is now what we are getting. So, so in a response of 425, we have one match. And it should be '86, and since we only have one, that's it. Now let's just say if we had the next one. So as you can see, there's 8 samples. 72, 72, which is none of them are listed here. Let's go to the next sample. Same. Same. Let's just see how it's moving up. These are all finding the min and the max. And we ultimately would come out with the high of 82.92. So I'll just do a search for that. So that must be the highest. And then we go on to the next day. So there you go. Basically, you need to find out, okay, they have all matching dates. So we need to get an array with just the dates in there first and set them all, the highs and the lows, to 0. Then we go through them all again, and we say, if you have this matching date, then we need to find out who has in this list the highest and the lowest. And I was using an array to use the math.min or math.max. Now you can also do like a placeholder and have it update every time as well. This is just the way I chose. I hope you learned something. Thanks a lot.